Hey, what is going on? What's happening? This is your GoldNdark Dame coming to you with the second version of last week and this week. Yes, this is another dual episode, and I'm not even going to spell out what the topics are. So much has occurred almost on a daily starting all the way back since last week. So I just want to jump into everything with no further ado. Ever since March 14th, folks have been, featured in the news, making headlines and whatnot. And, there's so much that can be broken down and analyzed about the people who have been making news. So I'm going to do what I can to unpack a few of these things in a short period. And I definitely wanted to just dive right in because starting right now, just a few minutes ago, at 8 o'clock, currently live right now, is the 52nd NAACP Image Awards. So that is happening right now. You should check it out to see who's going to win what. And actually, awards have already been granted over the past 3 days because with most award shows, there are so many different categories that whatever is included on the televised broadcast of any award show, it never shows you every category and every award winner and not all nominees. So that's how in-depth award shows are. And so this year, the NAACP Image Awards, again, they have already presented some categories ever since Wednesday, Thursday, and yesterday. And now, right now, it's on live. So check it out if you can. Don't miss it. They're going to have special performances by Jasmine Sullivan, as well as one of my favorite artists of all time, Mr. Maxwell. So, again, that just started at 8 p.m. live on BET. So, see who else is going to win. And I can say that some of the awards that have been presented already include the show network series Power. Book 2 Ghost has been the recipient of at least 3 awards by way of the categories of who we got here: Outstanding Drama Series, Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Drama Series, and that went to Cliff Smith, better known as Method Man, as well as the award winner of Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Drama Series. And that award went to Mary J. Blige. So, congratulations not only to the show creator, Courtney Kemp, but the series itself, Power, Book 2 Ghost, as well as those individual winners, Mary J. and Method Man. So, what a great honor for them, I'm sure it is, to be recipients of NAACP Image Awards. That is so major and deserved. So, going back to again, what has been jumping ever since last week. Now I'm going to go in, chronology. Some of the award winners from the Grammys. Want to highlight just a couple of those folks for anybody who was not aware. I'm sure everybody is aware that Beyonce won about how many? Maybe, I don't know, 4. And so she has this, grandeur total amount of Grammy Awards altogether. But she was a Grammy recipient as well as Tiffany Haddish in the category of Best Comedy Album. So that is congratulatory as well. And there was, a little bit of, I guess, drama, which I did mention in the previous episode of this week regarding, people who said they weren't going to attend and whatnot. And guess what? Beyonce has previously been included in that, but obviously she attended this year because she knew she was going to win some stuff. So how do you think it will look to know you're going to be awarded, but you don't go to the event? You don't attend the event. That would look pretty crazy, right? So she knew she was going to win something. Category nominees and awards presentations, they are notified in advance that they have won. So she knew she was going to win some stuff, and that's why she attended this time around. But aside from that, like I said, they were Grammy Award winners, so just wanted to point a few of those out. Now, what's really been taken over, as a repetitive topic in pop culture news is the increase of couples in Splitsville, going to Splitsville. That's what I call it. More couples continuing to break up, part ways. And that now, recently, before I even get into that though, sorry. Let me not get ahead of myself again. I'm trying to keep this news in chronological order, considering I already have to double this information up for y'all. But before I dive into Splitsville, got to talk about the follow-up from the social media airing out of the conflict between Kirk Franklin and his son, who decided to post a telephone argument that he had with his dad, Kirk Franklin. And this guy, I don't know his name, but apparently this is Kirk Franklin's oldest son, which, this son of his did not grow up in that same household, being reared by his father, Kirk Franklin. And so they had conflict over the years, but what it resulted in, again, was the son posting an argument that was occurring between he and Kirk Franklin over the phone. And so that was his means of recording the conversation by posting it on social media. And so, there were so many opinions, taking sides as far as, was Kirk Franklin wrong for snapping off the way that he did at his son in the midst of their argument? Whatever the conversation may have been was not included in what was posted on social media. So there's only a portion of the conversation, and that mostly consists of Kirk Franklin going off on the son and, cussing and whatnot. And so, there were opinions saying that Kirk Franklin was wrong for going off on his son like that, and, things of that nature. And so the follow-up is just that Kirk Franklin, he did issue an apology by way of social media, but his apology specifically was to, like, us, as far as folks paying attention, and the apology was not geared specifically to his son. If I had any opinion formed about the situation as a whole, to, decide what I feel like is right or wrong, or who I feel like is right or wrong. I think it would start with that part, because if you're going to apologize, you need to be specific, not only about what you're apologizing for, but obviously it needs to be clear who you're apologizing to. And so, with the nature of Kirk Franklin's apology, and it not being geared toward his son, he didn't include his son's name in his written apology. And he stated it to, I apologize. I think he said something along the lines of, I apologize to everyone. But again, he did not say his son's name. He did not write his son's name within that apology. So that's a fake apology. If you ask me, that's inauthentic. And that in itself is wrong, because it's not real. So he did that just to, try to get a grasp on the public perception, regaining positive public perception of him from anybody in the public who may be a fan of Kirk Franklin's. And he just wanted to reel those folks back in if the situation that his son posted affected their perception of him. Because remember, Kirk Franklin is associated with the gospel community, in entertainment. So he wants to, this is what he decided to do as a way to save face of his audience, okay, from his audience. So that appears to be what his motivation was for issuing an apology. But again, it was an inauthentic and misdirected apology. So all in all, it doesn't count. Seriously, it doesn't even count, because that's not real. That's not how you go about trying to resolve an issue. And so I think it's still unknown exactly, what the conversation was that they were having, but it's clear and it's apparent that they have had longstanding issues that's already been reported between Kirk Franklin and his son. It's not anything recent as far as the static that they have. It's been going on for a long time. But yeah, I mean, when stuff gets put on social media, you're gonna see and hear opinions, period. No matter who it is, no matter what the situation is about, that's gonna happen. So maybe Franklin's apology was intentionally fake, because even though, it's clear that wasn't genuine, I also don't believe in state or issuing an apology if you don't really mean it. So again, with that being said, Kirk Franklin definitely wanted to acknowledge his fans who may have come across the matter, but he had no feeling of wanting to apologize to his son. And that's between he and his son, because only they know the nature of their situation. Nobody else can really judge that. The two of them are the ones who know it best. So, next thing, now I can dig in on Splitsville and couple status. So, one of the more recent, speculated situations is in the process of, I guess, being reeled back indirectly. So what I'm trying to say is, as it pertains to the headlines that were made about Jennifer Lopez and Alex Rodriguez supposedly splitting up and or no longer being engaged, the next headline that came out after that was number one, J-Lo saying, no, it's not that we're no longer together. We're working on things. But then the next headline that came up, and this is the indirect part, was that, oh, they're doing this. It was talking about what they are doing. And that was for the purpose of indicating that their relationship is strong enough that they wanted to be known that they're not on the verge of parting ways. That's what I recall seeing about it. So it's just kind of like, okay, so, but Jennifer Lopez had already, issued a statement saying that they weren't breaking up. So I guess they both jointly, I guess, wanted to reiterate that with whatever the next headline that followed was. Okay, you're not breaking up. Cool. Cool for y'all. Life goes on even if they were breaking up. So they want us to be known they're not breaking up. Cool, great. Keep doing what you're doing. Now, assessing the younger generation in Splitsville, without a doubt, without question, is Saweetie and Quavo. Both artists in the music industry. And, I'm not that hip to either one of these artists as far as the ability to name any songs by either one of them. But, I can definitely tell that, again, they are part of the younger generation. What they might be, I don't know. I have to honestly guess and say, mid to late 20s, like both of them. But they're both artists in the genre of rap. Anyway, what happened with these two is that Saweetie, and this is according to social media, what's been shared among social media throughout social media, is that Saweetie confirms a breakup with her and Quavo following rumors that, number one, they had unfollowed each other on social media. And then this was also following the fact that she was featured in an interview with an ex-boyfriend of hers, which is Justin Combs. So he's akin to, he's one of the sons of Sean Combs, also known as Puffy, Puff Daddy, Diddy, P. Diddy, and whatever other aliases of his that are not coming to my brain, but Puffy, simply put. And so one of his sons is the ex-boyfriend of Saweetie, but she was like featured on his show or podcast or whatever it is that Justin Combs has. And it was a question that was posed to her, and based off of, I guess, how she either responded to the question or else just the fact that the question was brought up to her and that this young man is her ex-boyfriend. And then ultimately the question of, well, why is she chatting it up with an ex-boyfriend? So that just build up part of the totality of speculation as far as the status of her relationship with Quavo. And again, pair that with people having noticed that they had unfollowed each other. Now, the ultimate reported reason why they broke up is due to apparently Quavo cheating on Saweetie. And she wasn't having it. Now, full picture, that wasn't his first time cheating, supposedly. So she had already, gotten to the point of deciding that she was going to continue on, let their relationship continue. And so this time around, though, if and because he cheated, she had had enough, right? So that's what happened. That's why these two have gone to Splitsville, okay? And, the majority of feedback that has been uh, broadcast on social media in regards to that is praising her. Number one, praising Sweetie for not, just continuing to endure disrespect from the infidelity. And, but in reference to past occurrences of Quavo cheating on Sweetie, she did remark along the lines of him having bought her expensive gifts, inclusive of providing her with stacks, monetary stacks. You get it? So again, she gave him a couple of chances. She gave him more than one chance because this was not his first time having cheated on her, but she decided it was going to be the last. So that's that. The next couple that appears to be traveling in a swift and strong direction towards Splitsville is, if you're into them or not, the comedian, white guy Gary Owens, and his wife, Kenya Duke, who is a Black woman, in case you didn't know. So they have been married for 18 years. 18 years, okay? And they have 3 kids that they had together. And, beyond their marriage, the wife, Kenya, already had a son. So that's a child that, was not biological between the two of them. And actually, this is Kenya's her oldest son, and he's adopted. But anywho, who do you think decided that this marriage should be over between the two of them? The wife, Kenya. So reportedly, she is the one who filed. Now, what do you think the reason is? Give me y'all a moment to comment. Anybody currently listening, comment and let me know. Again, if you're not already privy to this news since it came out last week, and if this is your first whim of this information, Kenya filed for divorce from Gary Owens due supposedly to cheating. Gary stepping out on his Black wife, which he has mentioned time and time again as part of his comedic routines. It's just a talking point for him. The fact that, he has a relationship with a Black woman, that, obviously that they have, Black and or biracial kids. So that's what we usually hear from white people, specifically white men, upon them having dealings with Black women. They wanted to be known. They broadcast it. So this was not an exception for Gary Owens. But now there's 2 parts to their Splitsville news as well, because even though that information initially came out last week, the secondary information is that the wife, Kenya, apparently, indirectly either accused or else alluded to Claudia Jordan playing a role and or facilitating her husband, Gary, cheating on her with a friend of Claudia Jordan's. Okay. This is a speculation that the wife Kenya put out. Okay, something that she stated. Actually, she wrote. Literally, it's a statement that she made. She wrote that. She wrote that suspicion out. So, Claudia Jordan came out, in response to that and defended her, not only herself, but also her friend, and also, to a degree, she defended Gary Owens. But she explained the scenario in which, and this is Claudia Jordan I'm talking about, she explained the scenario in which Gary Owens, and a friend of Claudia's met up for, it was either lunch or dinner, and that it was, a general meetup. It was a general situation as far as congregating goes. And that, to her knowledge, Claudia Jordan stated that her friend, has had no dealings with Gary Owens as far as she knows, and vice versa. Gary Owens never told Claudia Jordan that he had any dealings, nor expressed any interest in Claudia Jordan's friend, as far as Claudia Jordan knows. So that was what Claudia Jordan had to say to, try to, clear up any, negative speculation around her, and that potentially, having anything to do with the wife, Kenya, being motivated to file from divorce for her husband, claiming that is on the basis of him cheating on her. So it's, I want to say, somewhat interesting that, the wife Kenya would come on social media, like I said, posting this statement with such a speculation, rather than, why would you not go directly to the source? Why would she not go directly to the source and talk to Claudia Jordan? Because, apparently, if Claudia Jordan is cool with Gary Owens, then you would think that she's also cool with Kenya. But apparently not cool enough on Kenya's end, again, to directly talk to Claudia Jordan and inquire with Claudia about Claudia's friend, and or to inquire with her own husband, Gary. Talk to your husband. If you haven't already, that should be the first person you speculating about and confronting. And then you take what he says and cross-check it, compare it, summarize it, analyze it, investigate it, etc., to Claudia Jordan, if you feel like Claudia Jordan is associated with the result of your husband choosing to cheat on you. That's just what I think about it. But at the same time, there may be other additional reasons why she wants to divorce Gary Owens. But who knows, aside from them? We don't. So, the way last week rounded out was with the first Verzuz battle, that was Verzuz Triller. Since Triller has partnered with Verzuz. So, that battle, which I did not see and still have not seen, was between two members from the same group, Wu-Tang Clan, and that battle was of Ghostface Killah and Raekwon the Chef. And I haven't even watched the replay of that battle, but the question that I would have about it, just to make it a topic here, would be to ask how many viewers tuned into it, how many viewers watched it live when it was in progress. That's the only thing I would want to know. And I think that's the only thing I can really say, about that particular battle, because I was confused when I saw these two would be doing a battle. But they did it. I saw, a brief clip from that battle where it looked like it may have been, at the conclusion of it. And so Raekwon was singing along with, some old school track. And Ghostface is in the shot with him. They're standing close to each other. They're vibing to the track as Raekwon is rapping along with the lyrics. And Ghostface, the sag he was sporting was like, just got you to feeling and thinking like, and wondering like, dude, I'm sorry, but you are too old to be sagging. And even if you weren't too old, you sagging at a level way too low. Sagging at a level below standard. Like his pants were like maybe only 3 inches above his kneecaps. It wasn't a good look. That's the best thing. It's the nicest thing I can say. That was not a good look for him. I also want to make the general announcement, the PSA, like it does. I don't care who you are. If you know personally people who sag their pants, their jeans, start telling them to stop sagging. Everybody you know who sags, tell them to stop sagging. Okay. It might come down to like making a conversation about it, but please let these folks know that needs to be done. It never was like a look that was like beneficial. And I know it's been worn for a long time now, but it's one of those things that with Ghostface doing it, like on a live broadcast, and being able to see that and recognize like how ridiculous it looked, man, we need to treat this like, again, a strong PSA, like advise mofos to stop that. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Stop sagging. No sagging. Girls, any woman who hears this, because these episodes are not intended for kids to listen to, but and that's why I say any woman, listen, please look, share the word with your niece, with your daughter, with your younger sister. Tell them that they should not entertain any boy. And if they're a young woman, tell them that they should not entertain any man who sags their pants. We really seriously need to like kill this, visual perpetuated stereotype. It has lasted long enough. It needs to be done. It needs to die. It needs to die. Sagging needs to die. But I'm done on that. That's all I got to say about the Verzuz battle last week between Ghostface and Raekwon. I don't know how many people watched it. I was not one. But it happened, and again, that was the first Verzuz Triller battle. Now, definitely more exciting news in regards to Verzuz, because that wasn't it last week. But upcoming exciting news is that they have gone ahead and they have shared information about a few of the next upcoming lineups that they have. Cool, exciting. When I saw it, I was like, all right, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, give me 1 second.